Mr. Holmes, we have a slight problem.
What happened?
One of the suspects, Mr. Reginald Butcher, has escaped. It was after we asked him to put his belongings in the evidence room. I'm sorry.
How did he escape?
He hit me in the face. Took me by surprise, otherwise I...
Of course. That's all?
Just before he left the yard, he shouted, "Sorry, I'll come back later."
Sorry, I'll come back later.
He could have said that without punching me.
Is Inspector Lestrade here?
No, he will be absent for a couple of days. Can we keep this incident between us?
How did that even happen? This was after he put his belongings in the evidence room, so there's a policeman here who just guards a small gate, and there is a policeman by the door, yet he still managed to escape. And we have 4 trays to examine. It's going to be a busy case.
The initials MB.
Great Ormond Street, of course, is a children's hospital.
This letter from yesterday perhaps explains why Butcher was in such a hurry. At any rate, I now have an exact address. Reginald Butcher is fond of sweets.
Well, I'm guessing that if he is at a children's hospital, this probably is not his handkerchief, and these probably are not his sweets.
This pen is an expensive one, but it isn't new.
And the Underground Electric Railways was on the side of the carriage, the one that was electrocuted.
Reginald Butcher had problems with his job. Thick leather gloves. They're probably insulating.
I believe this is the tray of the construction worker. Is he actually a construction worker? But it seems like he was, well, is a reformed criminal.
My life has changed thanks to Pastor Gordon and my faith. Whiskey. Of poor quality. Murad. Quite a popular brand of cigarette.
B. Fowler, and this is T. Garrett.
Electrical wires. A book. Karl Heinzen's 1848 Der Mord, with a bookmark. This terrible passage is apparently appreciated by Garrett.
So all three are potential... Well, all three are potentially the guilty party here. I think B. Fowler is too obvious. Well, I'd like to think so. I mean, he is a reformed criminal, but that's... I mean, anything really. He probably is on the right path. Who knows? We'll find out.
The belongings of the victims, Rasco and his acolyte. A police report about Rasco. He's only a minor criminal. A Webley revolver. Rasco is fond of licorice. Huh. A normal pocket knife. A standard deck of playing cards.
So we have an anarchist who has electrical wire upon his person, a reformed criminal, and someone who works for the train company whose carriage was at the scene. It's too early to call, but I'm ruling out Fowler at the moment.
Please, escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and I am assisting the police with their investigation.
I'm Benjamin Fowler, and I was arrested by mistake. I swear it.
You have not been arrested, Mr. Fowler. You are here as a witness.
Oh, but I saw nothing. I swear. Let me go.
Oh, it seems like he has the dog tattoo, but it also seems like he's tried to remove it. It looks like scratch marks. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned is that when it comes to options like this, if you do look on the right hand side, you can kind of make out what they say. I mean, that looks like religious, injured leg, manual worker, and something. Ah, it must be Smoker.
Could you tell me what you were doing at the scene of the accident?
I was working on the square's statue. I work for the council. I swear it.
Do you ever work with electricity?
Yes, sometimes. I repair electric lampposts, but I'm not a specialist. I swear it. It's new, isn't it? And complex and dangerous.
I understand.
Mr. Holmes, I know you're a great detective and you understand me, so please let me go. I know nothing, I swear.
Yes, you swear it, I know. Mr. Fowler, does the name Rasco ring any bells with you?
First time I ever heard it, I swear.
Oh dear. We do not like liars.
But your tattoo resembles his. You are in his gang, are you not?
No. It was a long time ago. I already forgot, I swear it. I just picked a few pockets for him when I was a young fellow. But I ain't proud of what I did. All my family, my parents, my brothers, dogs and cats all died when I was a lad. I wouldn't have survived otherwise.
I still think it's too convenient.
Please, escort this suspect for interrogation. Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock Holmes.
Thomas Garrett. Why am I here?
You are a witness to murder.
Of course. Well, it wouldn't be the first time that the police jailed an innocent man in order to close a case.
No one has been charged yet.
Yet.
Yeah, he seems more ill than afraid. He's a bit too cocky to be afraid.
Did you perhaps see anything in particular during or after this disaster?
Yes, I saw part of your bourgeoisie burn up and explode. It was spectacular.
Why did you remain in the square? Why not seek shelter?
Like the rest of the sheep, there were some wounded comrades, workers. I wanted to help them.
You kind of just stood there.
You have a severe cough. Are you suffering?
It's only a cold.
Seems a bit more than that.
Why not be honest with me? You are spitting up black fluid.
Ah, well observed. Yes, I have enough coal dust in my lungs to fuel an entire London district.
You were a miner then?
Since the age of 13, yes. At the Newcastle mines. 15 years of hell. Those were bloody times. But now it's over. I don't want to die in those holes like my father and my brothers did, in order to line the pockets of the rich.
Do you have any electrical knowledge?
How do you know about that? You a mind reader?
There are electrical wires amongst your belongings.
Clever. Yes. I teach electrics to my comrades, since I'm currently without paid work. I'm self-taught, so we're not as dumb as you might think. And I don't want to work for bosses anyway.
Okay, that's all that we can do here. And while we're on the way, we have quite a few things we can piece together. So, we know that Mr. Fowler is a reformed criminal. And we know that Mr. Garrett is an anarchist, but he also is in debt. We don't know that Garrett was working for Rasco, but we do know he is involved in electronics. But we don't know that he had sufficient knowledge to piece all this together. So we'll put it here for now until we get some more evidence. And let's link Mr. Fowler to the electrocution as well. And even though his work does involve electricity, he is by no means a specialist. I think that's it for now. Are we here on a weekend?
I'm apparently in the children's ward. I'm apparently in the children's ward. A young woman lost her life. Mr. Butcher's wife.
So this is a letter from Stockholm with a large bill impending.
Admission file at Karolinska University Hospital in Stockholm. Merrill Butcher.
How are you going to pay for this, Mr. Butcher?
Mr. Reginald Butcher, I've come from Scotland Yard. Might we talk?
All right, but not too loudly. She's finally asleep.
Is she your daughter?
My pretty little Merrill. She's very ill. Now look, I'm sorry I ran, but I had to see Dr. Blowberry today and the policeman wouldn't listen.
Don't worry. I understand now.
So this is focusing on the wedding ring being on the right hand again. And this is the last of the character portraits, and there's one more case to go. That seems quite ominous. We haven't seen Kate or Mr. Bouvier for a while.
Can she be cured?
It'll take a long time, but I'm confident that we'll win this fight. I can't bear to think otherwise.
Yes. Probably just a question of money.
What are you talking about? It's a question of willpower, and my daughter will win.
It's a question of being in trouble with your job as well.
I do hope so. Although the treatment at the Karolinska University Hospital is very expensive.
Yeah, it's our only hope. Thanks to the good Dr. Blowberry, she finally has a bed. We're going out next week. It's our last chance. Do you have children?
Yes. I have a daughter too.
We'd sacrifice our lives for our children, would we not?
Yes. Of course, yes. What do you do for a living, Mr. Butcher?
I work at the office of the Underground Electric Railways Company.
Then you must be familiar with electrical devices.
I am indeed. Why do you ask?
It is of no consequence, but tell me, what are the reasons behind the problems you're experiencing at work?
Problems? What do you mean?
You have already received a written warning.
Yes. I'm often late to work. My boss doesn't understand my situation. It's difficult since my daughter became ill.
I see. Coincidentally, we found one of your company's cabs in the square where the accident occurred.
Really? Why was it there?
I have no idea. Do you?
No. But a week ago we had a technical cab stolen, along with its tools. Do you think that could be the one?
It's possible.
And I believe we are done here. This is rather a short case, so let's see, let's put this together before we leave, as I'm going to look at the evidence that we've collected on the way. We don't know that it is Butcher's trap just yet, so let's leave it as just a complex trap at the moment. Okay. So according to this, we need to go back to the street. Well, there isn't much else we can do right now. There's only 3 places we can go. You'd think that we have seen all that we can see, but we need to explore exactly, well, the direction that this cab here came from.
Mud. Oof, smells bad. There was a collision here. Fresh paint, but from something else. The technical cab collided and stopped here. The lock was forced. A trail of mud goes through the entire room.
I wonder if it's the same mud that was in that carriage. So now we have 3 sets of locks to bypass. Well, 2 sets of locks, but with 3 combinations. So this one, I believe, is a one and a 2/3. And this one, 4, 3/4. There we go.
A workshop. Saleable items are produced here.
I apologise if my commentary is a little bit quieter than usual.
Mud. Oof, smells bad.
My daughter currently has the flu, so I don't want to speak too loudly and disturb her.
It looks as though the carpet was placed here intentionally.
Oh, lovely.
An old access point to the sewers.
I guess we're going to the sewers.